Well, good morning, everybody. And when I was thinking about what I could bring for you all today, I was thinking that we all have fear in common. And so it's something that is within all of us. So it's a really good idea to understand more about fear and figure out where it comes from so that you can learn how to fight it. So back in the day, we had saber-tooth. We had lions and tigers and bears. Everybody go, "Rrr, rrr." Yeah. But that was a really, really, really long time ago. And guess what? We've evolved. And so we needed fear to keep us safe. We needed fear to stop us doing silly things so that we could survive. But nowadays, the only fear that exists is in your mind. So let's talk a little bit about where fear comes from. Our journey as a child. From the 0 to 5 stage, we are protected by our parents. I never forget when I was a nanny and me and the mum were having a chat, and just as the 1.5-year-old was about to step off a meter drop, she grabbed the 1.5-year-old and she said, "Better not kill the project." So we are protected by our parents. And then around the age of 5, we start to develop our conscious mind. We start to know that it's us in the mirror. And so from 5 to 12, we call these the imprinting stages. This is when we start to give the things around us meaning. Something happens and we decide what meaning we want to give it based on the filters that we've got in our families, in our society. And then from the ages of 12 to 18, we are giving ourselves evidence for the things that we already give meaning to, e.g. our beliefs. So why is this important? It's important because we have an experience when we are younger and we give it meaning. And maybe there was a traumatic experience, or maybe there was an experience that didn't involve any trauma, but you gave it meaning that you weren't loved. You gave it meaning that you weren't belonging in that spot. Or, the most common, you gave it meaning that you weren't enough. So these are our core fears. And the other one that is rife in our society is the fear of being judged. And this is all fueled by the ego. The ego that used to keep us safe from those lions and tigers and bears. And that same ego is stopping you from fulfilling your entire potential. It's stopping you from doing the things that you really want to do in your soul, but that little voice is holding you back. So why do we want to fight fear? Why is it important to fight fear? Well, it grows our awareness. What if you had a dream to start a business that you weren't really sure was going to work, but it was just always sitting there in the back of your mind, something that you really wanted to do, and you tried it, and it failed? Well, it's just feedback. Feedback that you need to learn something else. It's feedback that maybe it wasn't the right time. And that teaches you about yourself. That shows you how to show up with volition and have grit and try over and over again to find out what you're made of. The other thing it does is it expands your comfort zone. We are so comfortable in our societies, and we need to be able to put ourselves out of our comfort zone so that we can show ourselves what we're made of. It builds self-trust. We prove to ourselves that we can do it. And if we can do the small things and do them over and over again, when a big challenge presents itself, we prove to ourselves that we can do it. The other thing is it lets go of ego. When your ego is there, rife in your mind, that's the little voice you listen to, you will be paralyzed by fear because you will never take action. We're not good enough to do this. You failed last time, you're probably going to fail again. That little voice is always going to be there, and it's your choice whether you listen to it or not. So imagine if there was a world where there was no judgment. Imagine if there was a world where you could be all that you wanted to be, and that was okay, that was enough. Well, that world actually exists, but we choose not to exist in it because we choose to listen to that little voice. I love this quote. This has been my mantra for the last 2 years. What is in the way is the way. Remember this one? Mm-hmm. So for me, this was my mantra because when I started coaching, I said to myself, what scares the pants off me? And it was public speaking. And the first time I spoke here to all of you, I was shit scared. I had hot flushes. I was really nervous on the inside. But could you notice? Why? Because I have a dream. I have a dream that I want to affect the lives of thousands of people. I know that I need to show up for those people, and I can see the bigger picture, that the fears and that feeling that I get in my tummy doesn't matter because I need to help these people. And I haven't even met them yet, but I know that I'm on a mission. So whatever is in the way is the way, because that is the thing that's going to show you what you're made of. That is the thing that is going to teach you that you can achieve anything. So then the question becomes, if you knew that you could handle anything that life threw at you, what would you endeavor to do? Would you start another business? Would you go on that holiday that you've been dreaming of for years? Would you start to live your authentic self and put yourself out there more socially? Would you start dating again? Would you do the things that you have been telling yourself, no, not today. No, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And then there's the excuses that we tell ourselves. It's not the right time. Oh, the kids. I can't do it now because of them, because of the money, because I'm waiting for confidence to show up. Well, confidence doesn't just show up. It takes courage. You have to get off the couch and do the things for the confidence to show up. It's not going to magically appear one day. So this little model might help you understand why it's important to fight fear. Because most of the society is sitting at level 3, doing the things that feel good. Driving in a nice car, Netflix, pizza. Feels great. We're protected in our little bubble. But what happens is that we keep on doing these things over and over again, and eventually it doesn't really feel that good anymore. We start to slip down to level 4, like when we're eating pizza every day. The novelty wears off. Our brains need novelty. And so, what are we to do? We have to move up to level 2. Level 2 is where things don't feel good. Level 2 is where you show up because you know it's important to do that thing, and it feels scary because it's unfamiliar, because it's new, because you have to grow to fill the shoes of the person that can do that thing. But you know that it's good for others, maybe for your family, maybe you want to be an amazing example for your kids, for your business, for your customers. And it's good for the greater good because you're fighting fear and becoming your full potential. And then eventually, once you're doing it really well, you've been showing up, feels terrible, awkward, you're afraid of being judged, and you do it anyway, and then you start rocking it. And then you feel pretty good. And then it's okay. And then you've proven to yourself that you can do it. You've proved to yourself that, yeah, wasn't that bad in the end anyway. So how are we going to do this? How do we know that we can fight this fear? You write a list. Why must you do this thing? Know your why. Have a big enough why that you can overcome any how. Write a list of 10 reasons why you must. Get really emotionally involved in the cause. The second thing is feel the fear and do it anyway. Embrace the suck. Do something that sucks every day. When you know it's good for you, but you just have that feeling in your tummy that you can't, well, guess what? You're not unique. Everybody has that fear within them. But it's the person that feels the fear and chooses to act who's the one who's going to get the carrot. Turn to the person next to you and say, embrace the suck. Embrace the Okay. So when we're embracing the suck, we're doing the things that suck every day. That gym routine that you never wanted to start. Talking to that person that you never wanted to talk to. Embracing the things that don't feel good because you know how much growth it will bring you. And lastly, taking small steps, because any action is better than inaction. We're quite often paralyzed, and all you need to do is just a little bit every single day. Because imagine if you started and committed that to yourself right now. Imagine what your life would look like in 12 months' time. Imagine what you could achieve in 12 months' time when you are rocking it and this is a new thing for you. What your life would look like then in 2 years' time. And now go 5 years into the future. If you decided today that you weren't going to get that feeling to stop you from acting, how would that change your life? So what are you waiting for? Thank you very much.